Bolivar Live, Birding on Bolivar with Winnie and Wyatt is brought to you by Beachy Beatnik Boutique, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas. Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and once again we're here. It's Birding on Bolivar with Winnie and Wyatt. Today we're actually on the beach, feeling the sand between our toes, coastal breeze in our hair, and an awesome place that's growing, literally gaining ground, and that's the Bolivar Flats. Wyatt, you were talking beforehand, showing me a sign, and you said that used to be the edge of the dunes.
Correct. So about 10 years ago, we put an informational sign that's now obstructed by all of the some of the marsh grasses, but it's a big white sign that was pretty much right on the edge of the dunes. So everything from where that sign is today to where the water is, that's all been an additional deposition of sand.
Great, great. Winnie, you were talking about history here, and we were talking at the North Jetties, talking about growing. You've been here a long time. How much have you seen it evolve over the years?
Well, it changes every year, and as we said last week, the North Jetty stops the sediments from getting into the channel, and that makes this area grow. And the Bureau of Economic Geology says it grows about 40 feet a year here. And that means the water gets shallower and shallower, and we get more beach, and then there's more prairie behind the beach, so and marsh too. So it's been growing since they built the jetty, and that was in the late 1800s.
Let's talk about birds, because this is another area here that, depending on the time of year, you get different birds in it. You can actually come out here. I see people walking it in the summertime versus when we pulled up, we saw several cars here and there's people down walking it. What kind of birds do you get different times of year here?
So as Winnie had mentioned, you know, a lot of the herons and the terns will bring their chicks here during the summer once they've fledged. A lot of the shorebirds that migrate through here, they don't all migrate, and so sometimes they stick around for the summer because they don't want to fly all the way up to the Arctic. And so, unlike a lot of the wooded habitats that we have on the peninsula, there's always things to see here at the flats that aren't just, you know, cardinals and blue jays. So we get a pretty steady turnover of birds year round.
Different birds year round.
And in the late 1990s, Houston Audubon wanted to protect this area because it's so important to birds.
Right.
So we worked at buying 1,100 acres that it's here and on the other side of Redlawn Road. Actually, the other side of Redlawn Road was a gift to us from Louis Tyra, to protect the productivity of the beach and the marsh and the mud flats. So.
All right. Access to this. We're here in front of some poles, and I think y'all have extended them out because the land keeps growing, so you have to keep extending them out. Is it strictly foot traffic, and is there any area in there that people should stay away from because of habitat for the birds?
So because of the Texas Texas Open Beaches Act, we're not allowed to restrict pedestrian access. So
right.
The beach is open for pedestrians. We can restrict vehicular access, and we have a deal with the GLO, and we do lease the section that we
don't lease anything anymore.
Okay, sorry.
No, this was built with permission from the county.
Okay.
The county commissioners had to give us permission to build this.
So we can edit around all this. We put in the bollards to restrict vehicular access. In the summer, you'll see a lot of temporary fencing. So there are going to be some 2x2s in the ground with some twine fencing and some signage. We ask that people stay away from that signage because we put that in there to protect the nesting birds. We do also have some fencing that runs just on the other side of where the dunes were a couple years ago. We do ask folks not to go traipsing into the dunes because that is not only do we own it, but there's also a healthy population of rattlesnakes and
I was
water
going to
moccasins.
say, people don't realize how many rattlesnakes we have down here, and it's not uncommon if you're driving along the dunes, especially if it's warmed up, those rattlesnakes will come out and sit on the sand where it warms up. And so I always tell, especially parents, please keep your kids out of the dunes, because there's rattlesnakes, there's water moccasins, there's coral snakes, a lot of everything in those dunes that you don't want to come across. Is there a certain time of year, and I didn't ask this at the jetties, what do you think the best time of year on the North Jetties and the Bolivar Flats is, or is it really a year-round time?
Well, personally, the Bolivar Flats is one of my favorite places on earth because I really love shorebirds. So really any time of year.
Okay.
During the summer, you have to brave the heat. It gets pretty warm down here. And our highest diversity still is going to be kind of throughout the winter and then spring and fall. But shorebirds, their migration's a little bit different than a lot of other birds, and so we'll have birds moving through, 4th of July is when their fall migration starts.
Okay.
So really it's there's a year-round spectacle.
Okay, great,
And
great.
there's more difference with tides than there is by time of year.
Really?
You can come down here when the tide's right and see 10,000 birds, and you can come down here when the tide's not is very high,
Right.
and you can see a couple pelicans.
Okay.
And the other thing people need to be aware of is that we have this vehicular barrier here to protect the birds, but also it protects people, because
Right.
out here are a lot of muddy, sedimenty places, and I've seen Toyota 4Runner out there, 600 miles on it, was totaled.
Yeah.
I've seen pickup trucks, I've seen all kinds of things out here because people thought they could drive out
Right.
there. People are not very careful on
I
this
know
beach.
that wade fishing out there can be pretty tough in certain areas too. You sink down. I'm getting too old for that. For more information on this, and this is probably one of the easiest access locations for people that maybe have physical limitations on what they can do as far as walking. It's easy to pull up here. The sand's packed. You can stay on some great packed sand. Even a wheelchair out here would do pretty good. And so if you're wanting to get the family out, take a walk on the beach and see nature at its best, there's no better place than here on the Bolivar Flats, or a short distance on the North Jetties also has a good cement and is steady. So y'all, thanks for joining us today. Remember, for more information on any of the properties that we're doing this series on, make sure you go to the Audubon website at www.houstonaudubon.org, I think,
Yep.
and get all the information. We have information on our website, and they've got we have some great maps of all the locations in the tourism center. We're going to head on out. Hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, at another location. I'm David with Bolivar Live with Winnie and Wyatt. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye. Looking for the perfect blend of seaside charm and unique style? Nestled right here in the heart of Crystal Beach, Texas is Beachy Beatnik Boutique, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87. Beachy Beatnik Boutique is your coastal fashion haven and jewelry lovers' paradise. Special thank you to Beachy Beatnik Boutique for sponsoring our Spring 2025 Bolivar Live Birding on Bolivar. Video equipment is sponsored by Crystal Beach Decor and More, located at 1959 Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas, and Beachy Beatnik Boutique and Jewelry, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas. Thank you to these two businesses for being our 2025 video equipment sponsor for Bolivar Live.